I've been making a lot of Pokemon that could potentially fit in Scarlet and Violet recently, and we can all use a change of scene, so instead, I'm just gonna dive right into my nerdy core. It is time to make a Phoenix Pokemon. Now, when I say Phoenix, I'm not talking about the city. Obviously. Because I can't believe I wrote that. Instead, I'm talking about the mythical bird. When the phoenix dies, it goes up in flames and comes back as a little chick. What I'm thinking is similar to that, but instead of rising meekly from the ashes, it instead rises triumphantly as a strong and powerful bird. It may not have as much health as it once did, but when it dies, it becomes 1,000 times more powerful. In my Scarlet and Violet Pokemon videos, I stayed pretty close to the source material because I was discussing a culture that a lot of people, myself included, know barely anything about. I wanted to inform people of these really cool things from other cultures, so I didn't change up the creature very much. Everyone knows about the Phoenix, so I will be changing up this thing a little. Here's what I'm thinking. Normally, the Phoenix is a flaming bird. What if those flames weren't fire, but electricity? And instead of having standard flames coming off of it, this thing will have lightning bolts. That's it, that's my idea. Also, it'll be a fairly young bird. Not a chick, but certainly not fully grown either. That way, when it dies, it changes into its revived form, and why yes, I did think of this idea before my Easter Bunny Pokemon. How did you know? Anyway, it dies, and then in a blast of fire and lightning, comes back. I could tell you about its revived form now, but this section's already going really long, so I'm gonna move to the actual drawing now. Alright, so I'm gonna explain the actual drawing process for this one, but the inspirations for the revived form. I started with a basic circular head and beak. I made the body, then struggled with the wings for like a decade and a half. I got done with them, and then spent another century making the legs. Who knew young birds were so much work to draw? I spent a little while getting the eyes made, and then eventually got one that looked sufficiently angry. I then drew some lightning bolt marks on its head. I changed the wings to lightning bolts, and then I added some actual lightning coming off of them. I did the same with the legs, added some markings to the torso, and we're done. Okay, so now that we've got that done, I'm going to explain the thought process for the revived form instead. First of all, it's in the traditional rising phoenix pose. That's not a particularly big deal, it's just what I thought of. More importantly, is the god it's connected to, Osiris. The way a normal phoenix works is that it dies, goes up in flame, and comes back weaker. This one comes back stronger. In fact, it comes back 1,000 times stronger. And when Osiris died, he became the Lord of the Dead, and was 1,000 times more powerful. Everything about this form is based on that connection. It still has lightning patterns on the wings, but its feathers get lighter in color as they get closer to the center. That's because Osiris wears a white tunic, and this replicates that. It also has a belt-style thing that I still haven't decided if it's actual cloth or just part of the anatomy. More importantly, it has a crook and flail on the neck. Those are the weapons of the Pharaoh. And, since no one can seem to agree if Osiris is blue or green, I just made the thing both. Very much a green head, very much turquoise wings, and a very much blue torso. While this is still an electric phoenix Pokemon, the electricity came second to the Osiris. I even made it have a largely front-facing body, but a side-facing head, like an Egyptian tumor. That was definitely intentional. Yup. And behold, Osiris, in its living form. An electric flying type. The electric phoenix Pokemon. Said to be able to resurrect itself from beyond the grave, Osiris is one of the most feared Pokemon, because even if you manage to take it down once, it'll just come right back. Supposedly, it has a different form when it comes back, but people are too scared to try and see it. Then, when it faints, it comes back in its revived form. Now, it is an electric ghost type. Well, we found it. The first time this form was discovered, it seriously injured 3 people. Some people worship it, others merely fear it. Everyone knows not to mess with this form. One time, someone claimed to have seen it turn the designs on its neck into actual weapons of electricity. No one is brave enough to fact-check that. Which form was your favorite? While I am a sucker for Egypt, I honestly think that the best form is probably the first one. I put more detail into it. Anyway, if you liked this, probably also like this video I mentioned earlier, where I make a Pokemon based on the Easter Bunny. Bye-bye!